How to do today. We're going to be turning some plain old canvas duck cloth into some stuffed adorable ornament door hangers, okay? And if you've been following DIY Dreaming for any amount of time, you know how much I love to stuff things. So let me just show you a few examples of things in the past, and there are a lot more that I just didn't take the time to go collect. This was one that we made for fall, doing a candy corn theme. Here was one that we did for fall, doing stacked pumpkins. I've done a ton of different flowers made out of canvas duck and combined with some other things like this blue and cream ticking. We did these Easter bunnies last year with the little eggs, super cute. And I probably have at least 10 other things that are just not super handy right now, but what we're gonna be making are some front door or back door stuffed Christmas ornaments. And this is where we're headed for this one. Each one is gonna be different, but we'll finish this one up at the very end, but I just wanna give you a preview. Which way do I need to go? Is this absolutely adorable or what? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll come back to this, so stay with me to the end, and I'm gonna tell you everything about this, and we're gonna complete this project. Just lay it right here. And if I forget, somebody please remind me. So how is everyone doing today? As you're hopping on, I would love to know that you're watching, and I think it's interesting to see where everybody's from. So if you want to tell me that, that would be great. If you have questions along the way, feel free to ask. If you would like to sprinkle, feel free to do all of that too. Okay, so these projects that we're making start with canvas duck cloth. Mine came from Walmart in the craft department, actually in the fabric department. My Walmart has fabrics still on the bolt that you have to have cut and that are, you know, the price is by the yard. So this is just kind of a heavyweight canvas duck fabric in a cream color. And it was around $6 a yard or $6.50, something like that. Okay, so I bought it and I've been crafting with it. I love crafting with this stuff. You don't need to wash it beforehand. In fact, I don't recommend that you do because you want it to stay as stiff as possible. So that's the first thing. And what I did to get to this was I wanted this shape. I just took this Dollar Tree Christmas ornament shape and I basically laid it on a piece of canvas and traced, you know, way outside the edge, like four inches around the whole entire thing, okay? And then I cut it out, and you need a front and a back. You can do the back if you want, but I don't think you really need to. Okay, then the next step is you are going to paint your piece of canvas. It will look like this. This is a smaller one, and then I have one that's the size, actual size of that ornament, of that wood piece, okay? So I took it, one side of it, and I painted the whole entire thing using this Waverly Chalk matte finish, no prep acrylic paint. It's from Walmart. It's really thick. It's nice to work with, easy to work with, and it's super affordable. So I basically just painted this whole shape with one coat. And this one is dry, so we're gonna work on this one in just a second, but I'm gonna show you how easy this is. Okay, so then I also cut out an ornament set, 2 pieces, front and back, in the actual size of this wooden piece. So I have 3 different sizes. And I don't really have a pattern You can just make, you know, make it whatever shape you like. So I'm gonna paint this one, and I'm gonna show you how to do that using my favorite, the red, which I've been using for everything red in my Christmas decorating this year. This is also Waverly Chalk Acrylic Paint Matte Finish, no prep, and this color is called Crimson. It's a great color. Okay, and my blue silicone mat is in the kitchen sink, soaking a little bit because it had paint all over it. So I'm just gonna work on this for this time being. Okay, so essentially all you're gonna do is just apply. You could use painter's tape to tape off part of it if you want, and that's what I did with the other one. And these take, I don't know, around 2 hours to dry so that you can go on to the next step. This is not a hard project at all. It's just I am super impatient. Are you guys like that? And I can't stand to wait for things to dry. I want to move on to the next step right away, but you do need to let it dry. Okay, so you could, if you had like a different color scheme, you could use whatever color paint you like. And it doesn't have to be that Waverly brand. Use what you have on hand. Any kind of acrylic paint would work. This also makes this, this little piece of canvas a little bit stiffer, which is good for the look that we're going for. Okay, and I'm not going to do the very, very top of it. I'll show you this in just a second. Okay. Throw this over here in a little tub of water. And I'll show you what we've got here so far. So in case you're wanting to see, it's called Crimson. All right, so here's our ornament. I'm gonna use some silver paint that I just happen to have on hand for the top part of this ornament. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. This is just what I opted to do, so. It's super easy. There we go. So I would just wait now for this to completely dry, a couple of hours, all right? And then just to ensure that I was gonna get a crisp look, I did take it outside and I sprayed it with a very light coat of this clear matte sealer. What do you guys think so far? Okay, I'm gonna set this one over here so I don't bump it, and we'll move on to this one. Okay, so this one is the same exactly, except I painted it all white because we're gonna do a snowflake theme for this one, and then I could use this on my front door if I wanted after Christmas. Okay, and this is the second half of it. I'm just gonna put that aside. All right, my thought was for this one to use this adorable stencil, which if you want links for anything at the very end, I will get those for you. Just say link. And you can say that in the comments and then I'll get it for you. This says, baby, it's cold outside, and it has these adorable little mittens and some snowflakes, and it's labeled. So I'm gonna take it off of the backing and I'm gonna kind of get an idea, what do I wanna do? I think I'm gonna do it straight. Or straight-ish. Okay, maybe you noticed that I did not fuzz it on my fuzzing cloth. That's because I'm using it on fabric, number one. This is fabric. And number two, I've used this stencil quite a bit. So I'm just pushing it down really good. And like I said, we're gonna do this one in blue. And when we're all finished, we'll dress it up a little bit, and I'll probably come back and paint the top of it silver. Okay, so we're gonna be using some blue ink from Magnolia. Ink, not chalk paste, okay? And if you think about it this way, ink is for fabric and ceramics. Chalk paste is pretty much for everything else. Although I suppose if you sprayed this really well, if you don't have any ink, you could probably get away with using chalk paste. Do not ever try acrylic paint or craft paint or chalk paint though, because that's one way that you can really damage your stencils. And you want to be able to, I want to use these next year and the year after and the year after. So these are going to be so cute. Okay, so I'm just going to push the ink through the holes on my stencil. I could also come back and add some more snowflakes using this stencil, or I'll show you this other one. Maybe we'll do that, I don't know. Okay, and see how much I have left? I'm just going to put it back in my little pot because I don't want to waste any of it. Set that there for a minute while I decide what I'm doing. Okay, this is what it looks like. And I hope I got a good, hope it looks good when I pull this off. Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, adorable. Okay, let me throw my stencil in this little tub of water so it can be soaking until I can get to the kitchen sink and wash it. And let me show you the other set, but maybe we will go ahead and add a couple. These are my snowflakes from last year. I've used them a lot. They're great stencils. And we could put a couple on here of the smaller ones. Let's just see what that would look like. And we're gonna do the whole outline thing and the squiggle, dash, dot, 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 all that business. I kind of am liking to do my, some of my stencils where they're sort of falling off the edge of my, so that's probably what I would do. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put a piece of this, since my, my mat is in the sink soaking, I'm gonna just use some of this poster board stuff underneath it so that I don't end up inking. Oops, oh no, look what I just did. Heidi, be careful. I don't wanna wreck this before it's even dry. It doesn't look like it messed anything up, but I do have a perfect impression of a snowflake on the palm of my hand now. And I don't want to smudge that all over everything. Susan, as soon as I get off, I'll get you links. Okay, so let's use a little bit more of this. And I'm going to use a smaller squeegee. Just one of these regular ones. Okay, let's do this one first. You want to be careful that you don't go outside of your lines because ink is pretty, you know, you're going to have a hard time getting it off. Oh, that's so cute. I'll show you in just a second. feel like this one on the bottom needs to be a bigger one. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then I'll wait to fiddle around with the rest of it until it's dry because I really don't want to mess it up. This is gonna be so cute. So this, usually when Christmas is over and I take down my Christmas, my house feels so like plain. And so for the last couple of years, what I've been doing is after Christmas, I'll switch my decor just to a winter theme, which is mostly, you know, snowflake and snow and icicles and that kind of thing focused. Okay, got everything. Adorable. Okay, we're gonna set this aside so I don't mess it up. And we're gonna come back to the big one over here. Put this over here on the floor. So it's safe. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so adorable. Okay, let's come back to this one. Yeah. Okay, so a couple of the things that I did, and we're gonna do a little bit more, is I love these ink markers. And you can get a set that's ink, just like the ink that we used. It has green, pink, blue, white, black, gold, and red. I guess this set doesn't have silver, but that's okay. We're gonna use the black. And if you look close on here, you can see how I put a little line in all my little dots. I'll show you how I made those. And I put a little line all the way around the edge of it, and then 3 dots. That's sort of my signature thing. Okay, so to make the little round polka dots, that was super easy. I want to show you how. I just took one of these little foam round brushes. These came from Walmart. They came in a set that had 3 different sizes. This, I think, is the middle size. And I just tapped it in some of my white paint. You set it down on your canvas after it's dry, and you just kind of twirl it around, and that is how you end up with a relatively round circle. So then I took my ink marker and I did my little dot, 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 slash, dot, 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 slash. And up here on the top of the ornament, I did like some lines. So I was thinking that we would do this line, dot, 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 to outline the center part of this that says Merry Christmas. Okay, and I'm gonna do just a little, well, I'm gonna do the whole thing, and then I'll talk to you about how I stuffed it. Okay, I need a paper plate to get my pin ready. These pins come with a round tip, and then if you pull that out, on the other side is an angled tip, and I'm using the round tip. That's the side I prefer. Line, dot, 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 line. And I like to vary how long the lines are. Some I like to do kind of shorter, and then some I like to do longer. So can you see what I'm doing right there? And this project is probably not even $1 worth of fabric, seriously. And then the stencils that I used are reusable. I used barely any of this craft paint from Walmart. I used a little bit of ink, And I'm using a little bit of ink from my ink pen. And that's it. So this is a super affordable project, which is exactly the kind of thing that I like. And we're gonna stuff it. I'm gonna do the top part, and then I'm gonna use my heat gun to try to dry that a little bit. Let's see if I can color in a little bit where my didn't do a good job on that part. Okay, so let's flip it around. And let me do this. Line, dot, dot, dot. It's also fun to do squiggly lines like this one. This one has squiggly lines and then dot, dot, dot. And this one has, in the center, has lines and then it has zigzag. Do you see that? And just adding this touch to your project, I think, just gives it a ton of charm. So you can use these ink pens. They have chalk pens also. For such a huge variety of craft projects, I think they're a really good investment for your craft supply. I'm not worrying that my lines are not the same length or not perfectly straight. I'm not worrying about how far apart I have my little dots. Okay, so let me get my heat gun out for just a second and give this a little quick burst. And then we're gonna talk about stuffing it, and I'm gonna talk to you about the hanger thing as well. So this is a heat gun from Magnolia, and if you're like me, if you're a super impatient crafter, this is a good investment. Do they have a stencil not that big? Oh my gosh, you know what? They have so many adorable winter themed and Christmas themed stencils at magnoliadiy.com that you just have to look. I wanted this one to be really big, and I'm going to show you what this stencil looks like and what the other half of it looks like and tell you what you can do with that. So talk amongst yourselves for just a minute. I really just don't want to smudge it when we go to stuff it. Okay, so the stencil that I use is this one, and it's a two-part thing. The other part of it says Hallelujah. I made an adorable lumber pillow using this and some of the gold ink last spring. And then the bottom part says it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So this is one stencil, and it's called It's Beginning to Look, and I'll get you a link when I'm all finished. Here's another one that isn't seasonal. It just says welcome. I can't remember which set this came from, but there's a ton of different Christmassy stencils that would be adorable, absolutely adorable, and would give your project a lot of personality. And the thing is, you use them this year, and then you put them away when Christmas is over, your Christmas stuff, and then just like your Christmas decorations, when Christmas is rolling around next year, you pull it out and you have everything you need to do some Christmas projects. Okay, so I glued my two pieces together all the way around, and for this hanger up here, just for fun, I had one little piece of this. I wish I knew what the gauge was on this. I had one little piece of this red wire from a craft project a long time ago. I can't even remember what it was. And I just took a paintbrush. I'll probably use it for one of these others. And you just twirl it around a paintbrush. I kept going, obviously, and bent it. You can see that right here. And then I glued it inside of the very top, okay? So that was easy. You could use a piece of jute. This is just a messy bow that I have here on the top, where I just did, you know, the crisscross, and I used some of my fun ribbon. I used some of this furry white ribbon. I used some of this ribbon that looks like burlap that has the red blanket stitch on it. I used some polka dot, and I used this little snowflake. So, and then I just used a zip tie that looks like these. I've got them all over my desk now. Clean that up later. To scrunch the whole thing together, and then I hot glued it on the front in the corner. Okay, so I'm thinking that it's mostly dry. Hope so. Let me just do one more time, and then we're gonna stuff it. You're gonna see how adorable this is. And this project is super lightweight. So you can hang it on your door with one of those command adhesive strips. It doesn't even have to be one of the big ones. You could also do this exact same idea, but small, and make ornaments for your Christmas tree. How's that sound? Pretty cute, huh? Okay, so we're gonna be using just some of this basic Crafters Polyfill. You can get it everywhere. If you don't have any, but you have a pillow that you don't love anymore, you can always take a pillow apart. I've had people tell me that they put the white Target bags inside, just crumple them up, and that works. Anyways, I usually leave a side open to stuff, because then I can get my hand in here and stuff all the way up to the top. So let's do that. Let me see where I am on my, and then we'll glue it shut. I'll lift it up, and you guys can tell me what you think. And off camera, I'll finish the other ones, either today or tomorrow, and show you how those turned out. I want this to be stuffed just enough to give it a little dimension. I don't want it to be super fluffy, but that is a personal preference kind of a thing. So, you know, do it however you like. If you do this project, I would really love to see how yours turns out. So take pictures and post your pictures over in the craft group that I set up for all of us to share craft ideas. It's Dreamy Space DIY. And if you haven't joined that yet, just go to Dreamy DIY, put it in your search bar on Facebook, and then when you get there, ask to join. There'll be 3 questions. Do you agree that you'll be nice? Yes, of course you do. Do you agree that you won't share other crafters' videos? That's the one that people seem to forget all the time. Because I just don't want other crafters' videos in this group that I'm the owner of. And the thing is, then I get questions about how to do these projects that I didn't even do. So that's the second one. And then the third one is, oh, if you sell makeup or wreaths or whatever it is, just don't use the group as a place to sell whatever. But it's fun. It's a really fun group, super supportive, super encouraging. If you live in a house with only men like I do that don't care too much about what your crafts are, they can't get as excited about it as I am, then it's just so nice to be part of a group where you can share pictures of what you're doing and have other people be oohing and eyeing and asking you how you did it and telling you that it's adorable, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit more in here. More in the center. I'll fiddle with it, with moving the fluff around a little bit after it's shut. Okay, so we need to glue this part together, and that's easy. I'm using my low temperature hot glue gun because this is a project where you could get your fingers in it, and that hurts when you're using hot glue. So this one is called a Sure Bonder Cool Shot. You can get them everywhere. This one I think came from either Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and it was under $10. I pretty much hardly ever use my hot glue gun anymore because I just have burned myself one too many times, and ouch, those hurt so bad. And you can achieve the exact same results using a low temperature hot glue gun. So I just think it's not even worth the risk that you're gonna end up with a huge old blister on your hand or on your fingers or something. This is so adorable. I just love it. Okay, where are my scissors? I'm gonna cut a little bit of this stuffing that kind of poked out. And here we go. Light as a feather. Super adorable. What do you guys think? Isn't that cute? So, just to review, this is plain old canvas duck fabric, around $6 a yard. Mine came from Walmart. You can get this at any craft store. You can order it from Amazon. I painted this part red and this part red, and I painted this band across the center white. Just using craft paint. Nothing special. This is Waverly brand. It's affordable, inexpensive. The white is called white. The red that I like is called crimson. Both of these came from Walmart in the craft section. Then I let it dry. I sprayed it with my clear matte sealer, just a very light coat. And then I stenciled this part right here using this stencil right here and a little ink. And then I used my black ink marker to do all the little doodly doos on it. I made this little wire hanger that I just showed you. I made this messy bow. I stuffed it and glued it shut, and that is pretty much it. So here's the Christmas one. I still love this one. I'll pull this one out again next fall. This one is my candy corn. Let me get a hold of this. So tell me what you think. It's gonna look adorable on my front door. Yes, it for sure is. Okay, so to use something like this outside, you want to use it somewhere that is covered. Don't put it outside somewhere that there's not a covering that it's gonna get rained or snowed on. All right, and you know, if there's a big storm, bring it inside. But this can withstand some cold weather and some humidity and even some snow, as long as it's not directly on it. And you can have one of these adorable little stuffed ornament door hangers that say absolutely whatever you want. And I encourage you to take a few minutes once I get you links to look around the website, you'll see my little cartoon head at the top when you get there, just to know that you're on my actual website. There's a category of fall and winter that has a lot of super cute stuff. You can look at all the different colors of ink. There's some great surfaces. So let me know if you want a link, and I'll get one for you for the stencils, for the ink, for the pens, you know, for any of these kind of things. And then if you haven't liked and followed this page already, do that. It's up here, and turn on your notifications. Do a this or a this, so Facebook knows that you enjoy this content and you want to see it. Let me know if you have any questions. How do you get the pattern for the candy corn? There is no pattern. This is what candy corn is shaped like. It's like a piece of pizza with round corners, round here and round here. And then I did mine orange, yellow, white, but some candy corn is white, orange, yellow. It depends on the brand. So, and this is just that craft paint in those 3 colors. So I don't have a pattern for this. This is, and you don't need one. If you know what candy corn looks like, you can totally do it. And you don't really even need a pattern for this idea. If you wanted, you could do this as a round ornament also. So I see lots of you guys asking for links. I also see a really good question, so let me find my thing. Okay, somebody just asked, did I have a pattern at all? Okay, well, this is a piece of wood, one of those cutouts from Dollar Tree, and it's in the shape of an ornament. So I used this as my starting point, and I just laid it on my canvas, and then I kind of drew with a pencil like 4 inches around the whole thing, and that is how I came up with this shape. And then I did it again to make it a little bit smaller. Let me show you this one. This is the one, in case you are hopping on here at the end, as soon as I'm done, you can go back and watch the whole thing on replay. This was just a little bit smaller, so it was maybe 2 inches around that. And then the other one that we just painted red, which is still wet, was an exact trace of that wood shape. But you don't need to have the wood shape to be able to do this, I promise. So I'm gonna finish this one up, but this stencil says, "Baby, it's cold outside." I think this will be adorable on my front door after Christmas is over. And when I'm still wanting a little something, something there. And then I used blue ink. So I'll finish it up with some silver paint right here, some kind of a hanger, and I'll use the black ink to do some little doodly-doos on it, just to give it a little bit of character. I'm gonna finish this stencil here, and yeah, so that is pretty much what we did. I hope that you enjoyed these projects. I hope that you feel encouraged that you can totally do this. Because you totally can, I promise. So, and if you do it, I would love to know. Susan, this is canvas duck fabric from the fabric department at my Walmart, but you can get canvas duck anywhere. And I went over all of this kind of basic stuff at the very beginning of this video, so if you have a minute and you want to go back and watch the part that you missed at the front, then you'll get all the pertinent details about these projects. Plus, you'll get to see the other things that I've stuffed and made in the last 2 years, 3 years. Okay, let's see. And I also showed how I made the design using one of these little pouncer brushes and some white paint on this one. Yeah, so if you have questions like that, come back and watch from the beginning. If you want links, just say link and I'll get that for you. Otherwise, I'm gonna say goodbye. Have a great rest of your afternoon. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some projects. I may even be back tonight, I don't know. I kind of need to do some Thanksgiving stuff and some cleanup stuff around my house. But thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you again very soon.